Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. I'm pretty sure I covered the subject, but it was probably quite some time ago. I'm going to cover it again because just within the last day or two, I've had 3 questions on the subject of what's the difference time-wise and result-wise between an enhancement, a paint enhancement, a one-step, and a multi-step correction. So I'll cover that today, and I'll give you a visual. So what I have here is a test panel, and the test panel has, well, let me grab you and get you off of the stand and bring you closer. Three layers of imperfections. We have a lighter layer of imperfections with 3000 grit that hazed over the section. We also have a layer that is 600 grit, which is deeper in each section. And then next to that is one right in between at about 1500 grit. So there's layers of damage to the test hood here. And in this section, we'll do a paint enhancement. In this section, a one-step. In this section, a multi-step. We're just going to do a 2-step. For the multi-step, and you'll be able to tell the difference between the two. I'll explain the difference between the two, and I'll tell you how to save time between the 3 different types of paint corrections. Let's get started. Let's start with the paint enhancement, and the idea for an enhancement is for it to be quick. So you're looking for a little bit more gloss, you're looking to clean the surface, remove just a little bit of imperfections, because what we're going to be using is not going to be aggressive at all. We're going to fly through from panel to panel and not look back. Whatever we correct in 2 passes is what we're going to get, and we're going to move on. Again, so it's a step or a procedure to be very quick, economical, but give you some results. And what you're going to use: entry-level polisher is fine. This one here has a 15 millimeter throw. You can use something that has an 8 millimeter or even smaller. The pad is going to be not aggressive whatsoever. We're going to use the Rapiste Fine pad, and we're going to team it up with a finishing polish. So a cleaner polish, a finishing polish, anything with very minor abrasives is what you're going to be looking for. This is going to be the team for an enhancement for this video. In all of these sections, we're going to be doing crisscross pattern, left to right, and then up and down. And then we'll move on. Let's get the pad attached. Fab finish. Shake up the formula. Always shake it up. I believe this one still has the safety tab in it, for Pete's sake. Okay, 1, 2, 3 marble-sized drops. Spread out the product. So with an enhancement, again, we're going to be doing the 2 passes, left to right, then up and down, and we're going to move right along. We're not going to look back. We're just going to keep on going and get around the car. You gotta be kidding me. Yep, they never plug in the battery. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get another polisher. Luckily, I have one right here. Pick up where we left off. I like to have it between the 3rd and the 4th speed setting. Yeah, one of my pet peeves here, when we're done with the polishers, plug in the chargers overnight. As you can see there, we kept the polisher moving. We're going to wipe off the residue, and if we were doing a whole car, we're going to move on. This is to enhance the look of the paint, not to fully correct it. And you will see a difference. There will be some positive results. I will show you them to you right here. They're not going to be perfect, but they will be an improvement, and that'll give you an idea of what an enhancement should be. You should be able to get around the car quickly. So look, between this side and the side we just enhanced. Not perfect. You can see those. It's a little hazy there from some of the deeper scratches, but there is a difference. You should be able to get around the car within an hour and finish it up. So there's an enhancement. Let's get to a one-step. One step next. Quite similar to an enhancement. The difference, we're going to have a more aggressive team or combination. In this case, and there's billions of one-steps out there, we'll just grab the Rehab from P&S and a great one-step pad, which works for about 70% of your jobs, will be the Eurofiber 50/50 pad, and then a 15 millimeter throw or an entry-level polisher is just fine for a one-step. The difference between the enhancement and a one-step when it comes to motion, you want to take your time and be a little bit more deliberate and chase after some things. And then once you're done, if you see something you don't like, you can come back within that one step and hit it one more time. Where the enhancement, you're just going to keep going and you're not going to look back. This will take a little bit longer. This is a little bit more aggressive than a one-step. Quite similar, but those are the differences. Let's see the difference on the test panel. Get a little bit of the Rehab on the Eurofiber 50/50 pad. Spread it out. We'll be a little bit more methodical, a little bit slower with our passes. Polisher and the pressure is going to be the same. Just going to take our time a little bit more. All right, that pad's getting worn out. It's getting a bit wobbly. So the difference between, well, obviously the pad's more aggressive. The correction fluids for the one-steps are going to give you a pretty good cut within the first step or two, and then the abrasives will break down or round off, and that allows you to give it a good finish. So let's wipe off the residue. Now we have the choice here with a one-step. We can go back and give it one more quick pass. Again, you don't want to spend too much time on a one-step, or if you're doing this for a living, going to cut into, it's going to be overhead for you. But let me show you the difference. Now we're going to see a more crisp reflection. It's going to look so much cleaner. Difference between these two sections is huge. And there is a bit of difference between these two sections, as you can see. So that is going to be the difference. The aggression, the time you put into it. Still, you should be able to get around within an hour and a half to 2 hours with a one step, even if you're being really, really picky. Let's get to this can really, you can go down the rabbit hole when it comes to this. If I'm doing multi-steps, which I hardly do anymore because of the clear coat on today's vehicles being so soft and thin, and we want to leave as much behind as possible, we rarely do multi-step corrections anymore. But if you do, if you have something that has plenty of clear, it's been repainted, and you lay a lot of clear coat down for you, you can do multiple steps. I'll do 2 right here, and I'll show you the difference. Multi-step correction. 2 steps or more, we're getting even more aggressive. Now we're going with an aggressive compound made strictly for cutting, and a pad and polisher, which is going to be the rotary when it comes to cut. You can add a middle step, a medium polish, which they do have in this line, the Cook Chemi line. But I can normally get it done, cut, and finish with this exact team right here. And we're going to have the fine pad and then the M302 to finish up. I'll show you on the panel here. I'm not going to make you suffer through the whole thing. I'll just kind of edit snippets of what I'm doing, and then we'll see the results. The first step is going to be the cutting compound with the rotary and a wool pad. For me anyway, might be a microfiber cutting pad and a different polisher for others, but this is how I like to handle that first step. Okay, let's wipe off the residue from the cutting process. And of course with the rotary, there's going to be a little bit of extracurricular activity, so to speak, as there's going to be some wool fibers, a little bit of dusting. It's the nature of the beast. And now we switch over to the finishing process, which makes this the second step again. If you have the time, you have the place, you can do the middle or medium polish and a medium pad, but you can normally skip to this and make it a multi-step correction, and it'll look fantastic. All right, now we wipe the residue from the second step, and the second step is there, or the second and third step, or how many, you can even add the jeweling stage into this if you want. And each step after the cutting step is to get clarity out of the finish, removing the haze from the cutting step. And then the jeweling agent is to get even more gloss, which that step there we hardly ever use because nobody has the eye. Just a select few request that stage with their correction. And it comes down to budget at that point as well, because that's going to take some time. Okay, so let me know. I don't need to break the gloss meter out here. You should be able to see the difference. So we started down here with an enhancement, and that made a pretty big difference Then we went up to the one step, made a bigger difference, still imperfections in both of these. And then we went to this, which really brought out the clarity. And the only imperfections left are going to be the ones through the clear coat that you can't chase after anyways. It's going to take the most time. Again, you can really go down the rabbit hole. That takes less time, a lot less time, and all will give you results. I hope that helps. I know I covered this before, but the visual, I hope, helps and answers the questions for those 2 or 3 within the last couple days. And the rest that are watching now. This has been Brian from Apex Detail. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll catch you in the next video.